Hey everybody, I'm back. I'm here to talk about a topic that keeps coming up no matter how hard I try to fight it off, and that is, are we heading for another housing crash? You've seen all the headlines about the bidding wars and the crazy price appreciation of housing and the shortage and how there's too many buyers and not enough homes, and you think, maybe there's something to it. These headlines are always easy to find because they're splattered across cable news, Facebook, but guess what? They're doing it for the clicks and the eyeballs because there's a lack of good information. People make decisions based off of emotion. So I'm here to try and fill that void with some good info for you if this topic comes up. So at the end of May, the year-over-year housing prices on average are up 15%, which is significantly more than what you can expect usually for a one-year price appreciation. That's usually about 8%. The main driver of that price appreciation is that we have a really tight housing supply right now. Additionally, there are so many more buyers out than usual looking because interest rates are super low, which makes housing a little bit more affordable. The main cause of the lack of supply is a long-term decline in the construction of single-family housing units. We are at 13 years consecutive of below national average, below the 50-year average of units completed. Contrast that to the years running up to the housing bubble in 2008 and 9, where every single year there was a new record for homes being completed. It's a pretty dramatic picture. Pair that super high supply of homes with a bunch of people to put them in, and the lenders started getting a little loosey-goosey with their mortgage writing practices. Underwriting was super lenient. If you could prove a shell of an income, you could qualify for a mortgage in 2007. Thus, people who really weren't able to afford a home couldn't keep up with their payments because all the mortgages had adjustable interest rates that continually went up. They went into the foreclosure process, and thus the bubble popped. But isn't there a forbearance crisis coming up because of the pandemic? Good question. But the data suggests that that just isn't going to happen. The original projection at the start of the pandemic was 30% of all mortgages were going to go into forbearance. They were going to, homeowners were going to stop making payments, figure out a payment plan, something along that line, but they weren't going to be paying their mortgage. 30%. That's so many. The actual top line percentage was 8.5%, and that was back in May of 2020 as the COVID pandemic was really starting to skyrocket. Right now we're at 3.5% of mortgages in forbearance. That's 27% less than the original projection. Now, will there still be some foreclosures? Tragically, yes, in all likelihood. There are still about 17-18% of homeowners that still are in a little bit of trouble with their mortgage, but 44% have already paid off what they had forbeared, and 40% are working out a repayment plan with their lender. And to top it all off, it looks like we're at the front end of a turnaround in the housing world. Buyer traffic is ever so slowly beginning to drop. Don't get me wrong, it's still a very hot seller's market, and if you choose to sell right now, you will have likely multiple offers. However, what's not likely is is seeing 30 offers with 50, 75 grand over asking price. Those days are likely coming to a close very shortly. So, if you've been thinking about selling, now's the time to act, and you can still get premium dollar for your home. Buyers, hang in there. It's going to get a little bit easier. And lastly, I'll leave you with this from Ivy Zellman, founder of Zellman and Associates. She's pretty much the expert on market forecasting and the housing market. She said that the likelihood of us having a foreclosure crisis again is about 0%. I don't know what else you need to hear. That works for me. If you have any questions, you want to talk about this, I'm always available. Looking forward to it. Thanks for watching.